It's not every day you get an invitation to join the president of Marquette University inside his office. But as students prepare for finals and the Marquette basketball team prepares for the Big East season, we join Father Wild in his office. This is Father Wild.
And this is Marquette Basketball Weekly.
Welcome into Marquette Basketball Weekly. I'm Brad Galli in frigid Milwaukee. The Golden Eagles have started their season off at a 7-3 mark and most recently dropped a contest to in-state rival Wisconsin in front of a crowd of 19,000. Marquette is never short of fans, and one that all of the community knows around here has just recently announced the end of his presidency after 15 years here at Marquette. Father Robert Wild sat down with me to talk his favorite Marquette teams, the men that have coached them, and the moment he calls the greatest in his Marquette presidency. Father, such a rich history here, Marquette basketball. I know in your time as a faculty member, you watched so many great teams, you were a fan of so many great moments here, but in your time as president, there have been so many new layers added to the history of Marquette basketball. What's it meant to you to watch so many great moments unfold?
Well, you know, I first came in 1975, and that was as it turned out, the second last season of Al McGuire, and we had a great team that year. I mean, it was one of these teams that was ranked all season long, second in the country behind Indiana. They did not go to the finals in the NCAA because they didn't seed the way they do now. So Indiana knocked us off in the regional finals. And then, you know, we thought, oh, rats. And the next year, a really good team, but, you know, Al would have said it was about his fifth best team, wins the whole thing.
And this breakaway bucket brought a gesture from Al McGuire that was unmistakable. He knew he had it.
After, you know, Al's last home game was against Wichita State. Wichita State didn't just beat us, they killed us. The fans went nuts. There was toilet paper all over what's now the Cellular Arena, and we all thought there is no way we are going to get in the NCAA, and we got in and won it. You just never know. There's a certain luck factor. Then Hank followed that, one of the giants of our program here. I came back in 1996 as president and caught up with Marquette ball then, and we were really struggling at that time. Poor attendance. My first year we did pretty well, but kind of started to slide downward. Recruiting was an issue. Then we got Tom Crean, who was this young coach, and candidly, we went for a young coach. First of all, we thought there'd be more energy. More drive. We figured we had to have a lot of energy, drive, because you're trying to build up a program again. And Tom helped us at a lot of levels. We had the great run to the Final Four in 2003 when D. Wade was playing ball, and just, you know, no one guy can do it alone, but we had a really good group of guys,
And you've told me that week in 2003, that time in March was the most special time and one of the greatest memories you have as president here.
Yeah, I'd have to say that. We went there. You know, we squeaked our way through the first two rounds, as you often do. Again, luck is a big role in these long runs into the tournament. But we won. And then we went up to the Twin Cities and played Pittsburgh, beat them, and played Kentucky. And the Kentucky fans really were not very present there because they were so sure I'm convinced. They were so sure that they were going to go to the Final Four and the Preps win it all. They didn't show up. They saved their money for New Orleans, where the Final Four was going to be. We didn't. It was one of these games that we didn't just win. We blew them out. And then we had this, of course, seething mass of fans that gathered after the game, and we were trying to put together the money to build a McGuire Center, and we still needed $4 million to get the thing started. So we announced that we are going to go for the final $4 million as Final Four school, and we're going to do this in 2 weeks. It took us 3 weeks. So
Oh my
we got
gosh.
it.
That is remarkable.
It was remarkable.
And what Dwayne Wade has meant to this university. I know he came earlier this year, and word on campus started to spread that he was here, and he came to meet with you. Talk about your relationship with him.
Well, I got to know him. You know, he was enormously grateful to Tom Crean, who because he was not heavily recruited as a player. And Tom got word from some of the people down in Chicago who try to keep track of prep school ball, and Tom started going to his games and really saw the potential that Dwayne had, and you know, he convinced Dwayne that he really ought to come, and he was what was the phrase that was used? His academic, his academic grades were fine, but he had test scores were a little low. So he was a partial qualifier was the jargon in the NCAA, and we kind of had questions about that. Coach Crean said, well, yeah, but you've got a lot of character in this guy, and this guy will do fine. Well, actually, D. Wade did very well academically, and but he also did very well on the basketball court. But I don't think anybody expected when he first arrived he would turn into the incredible talent that he was for us, and of course is so much more now with the Heat, because he's learned so much since then. He's been around twice this year, I think he's been on campus, and so there's a real sense of dedication. He himself is still tithing. You know, it's giving 1/10 of his earnings away to charity, especially to help kids down in the greater Chicago area. Because he had a rough time of it growing up, and he's trying to make it a little easier for a lot of other kids.
It's safe to say he's taking the message of be the difference.
Yeah, he's taking the message to be the difference, and he's being the difference. You know, he's clearly on the basketball court, but I think it's important people be aware of this other side of him, too. He's a really good human being.
He is. He certainly is.
Coming up later in the show, Father Wild will share his thoughts on the hiring of Buzz Williams 3 years ago and the job he's done as the head coach at Marquette. Plus, we'll get Father Wild's outlook on this year's team and the big night in February. That's right, Father Wild bobblehead night at the Bradley Center. But first, our Derek Hudgin knows all about the spirit of Christmas. It involves giving. He's got the story of the Golden Eagles finding time to feed families in Milwaukee.
This Thanksgiving, the Marquette men's basketball team took time away from basketball in order to help out the Milwaukee community. Thanks to a generous donation from Wesley Matthews, the team stopped by the Hog for Hunger to deliver turkeys to families in the Milwaukee community.
Wes bought 100 turkeys. We bought 100 turkeys, and it's just to help those that are in need this Thanksgiving.
Obviously, he's preoccupied with everything going on, but we're all a family. And because he was part of the Marquette family, we came down here, and helped ship the turkeys off to the families in need.
Just one of our give back to the community deals that we do every year, throughout the year, just giving back to families, just to make sure to have a good Thanksgiving.
Coach Buzz Williams always speaks character revealed. And this character-revealing moment from Wes Matthews did not surprise his former teammate, Rob Frozena.
This is exactly the type of person Wes is. He's always been giving, always been caring. He's always been the type of individual that never thinks about himself. He always thinks about others, whether that be other teammates, other relatives, just other people in general. This is not about basketball, it's a lot of things that's going on in the world that that can be taken care of if it can, and I think that's what Wes aimed at, and he's helping out a lot of families, so we're real blessed for that.
I think Wes has great character. I think our current guys have great character, and that's more important than anything else.
Wes has never been shy about calling Milwaukee his second home, and the current players are happy to help out the same supportive community in any way.
We're not only basketball players, and we're great human beings, and we're great people, and we try to give back to whenever we can, just to show the community and everybody that we love to support, and we'll do anything to help them.
We're blessed to have the privilege we have to play basketball for Marquette, and certain times we may take things for granted, but this is just an eye-opener that certain people don't have all the blessings and privileges that we have, and any way we can give back is great. It's just an experience just back then, like seeing stuff like this on the movies and stuff, to see that it's really happening in real life. It's kind of touching and it's warm-hearted for other families. It's a good thing, so we're real thankful for Wes doing that, and I know a lot of people out here that's thankful too.
With all the time and work put into basketball, Coach Williams said the season is almost like a subculture, so he'll take any chance to show his players real life.
Someone that's tried to carry on that legacy of being the difference and trying to teach players to do what Dwayne has done and players that came before him is Buzz Williams. April 1st, 2008, yeah. Tom Crean leaves, and people say you've got to hire a veteran, you've got someone's got to save the program, but you're part of the decision-making body that brings in a guy named Buzz Williams.
One of the things I've learned is there's things I know and things I don't know. So I was heavily relying on people who were close to the basketball scene, directly involved with the search. At the end of the day, the president needs to sign off. And so I was in touch with various people during this process. And we knew that Buzz was a good recruiter, and we had a strong sense of great work ethic, and we needed that. We needed somebody who would be able to recruit kids who, and many of the kids who play ball across the country in the 1AA programs are coming out of, really difficult poverty situations, and you gotta recruit them. You can't just wish that they'll come and knock on your door. Buzz had proven that he could do that. What we didn't know, but had a sense of, but you didn't, is he'd be also a good game coach. Turned out he's a great game coach. And no, Buzz is an amazing man. We had no idea, I think, when we brought him in. He was what we were looking for. Yeah, the people said, oh, you got to get a big name coach. Well, the trouble is sometimes with a name coach is the name coach wants to sit in the office and kind of wheel people around. I mean, getting somebody who would meet the needs that we had, which was intensive, active recruiting, and building a program and keeping it built, and hands-on. There's all these things were things somebody who really knew the game, had a passion for it. So you could argue that one back and forth. People did, but you don't hear much argument anymore.
Not anymore. Certainly not. Well, one of the exciting notes on this year's schedule will be an appreciation night for you. And there's going to be a bobblehead handed out to fans. Now, you joined this elite company of people that have had bobbleheads made of them. And tell me the process that went through getting your own bobblehead being
made. I had to be talked into it.
Talked into it?
Yeah. I mean, a bobblehead, that seems a little wild and crazy, if you say, really, a bobblehead? Nah. But we've done several of them. We even have our, over on my counter over there, we have a Golden Eagle bobblehead. And so we've had Coach Green, there's a Coach Green, and several of our former players, a D-Wade bobblehead. I thought, well, yeah, okay, maybe that's okay for players. But anyway, I had to be talked into it. My colleague, who's my chief associate here at the office, she finally said, oh, you really ought to do this. People will love it. I said, "Oh, you think it's for the good of the school?" I said, "Yeah, we could do the bobblehead, sure." And it is. I think it'll be a fun thing. People get a lot of laughs, and so it's good. I mean, and I appreciate people have been, really expressing their gratitude for everything that's gone on, and of course in athletics, a lot has gone on. I mean, it's not simply who we've had as coaches. Getting into the Big East was huge. That was huge. That's made a great difference, and it took a lot of work to make it happen. And of course, as most of these things, some breaks.
So many great accomplishments that you have seen under your time here, and would it be a good statement to say that you'd love to see them go out on top this year, this basketball team, and make quite a run?
Absolutely good statement. I mean, you can see the heart and energy these our players are. They're really trying to reveal character, as Buzz would put it. Good character, great character. It's a young team. And there's certain weaknesses. You always got certain weaknesses. They will improve, I'm convinced. Big East is a challenging run. We got pretty good Big East teams, but that's normal. And, I think we're going to have quite a good Big East run, and we'll see where it goes from there. We've been playing well against the Dukies. It's not quite there against Wisconsin, but Wisconsin will remember they were in the game, and the Dukies in Kansas City, that was a real close game, and we played that well. It's a work in progress. Young players develop. We'll see that happen during the season, and I think they're going to be fun down the stretch in the season. We'll see if we can get to NCAA again. And go from there.
Father, I know you're not going anywhere. You're staying on as part of the Marquette family. You bleed gold and blue, and we appreciate you taking this time. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you. The 70-year-old Wild plans to retire next June after serving as the school's president since 1996. He's seen the men's basketball team make 8 NCAA tournament appearances and was vital in getting every team into the Big East back in 2005. The good news about his successor, Father Scott Pillars, he's already been seen down at the Bradley Center catching a Marquette basketball game. That's going to do it for Marquette Basketball Weekly. Although we're off until after winter break, our coverage of Marquette basketball doesn't stop. Be sure to check out MUTVsports.com for full recaps of every game, and thank you for watching this week. On behalf of our entire MUTV family, I'm Brad Galli, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. See you in 2011.